Hello and thanks for joining us on the news this hour. I am Priscilla Iworm. Barely after the inauguration of the ministers by President Muhammadu Buhari, many Nigerians are reacting to the new cabinet constituted by the president. Buhari on Wednesday confirmed the appointment of 43 ministers with portfolios and additional 5 ministries created, while he retained the position of petroleum minister. Our correspondent Aminu Adamu has the report.
In x-raying the new cabinet of the president after the inauguration of the ministers and the task ahead, some Nigerians have reacted to the development. In a cross-section of interview with Nigerians, some have commended the president for a job well done and charged the new ministers to set the ball rolling, while others express contrary views.
I'm happy with the new crop of people, the caliber of names appointed by the Mr. President for this his second tenure. I think to me it's okay.
I believe that the president knows what he's doing, and it is my wish that they were able to meet the young of the Nigerian, and the economy apparently is not too buoyant, since that thing is not too going on fine. So I believe the new ministers should be able to look and make policies and make economic reforms that will be in favor of the citizens.
Well, the new cabinet, from my opinion, is more political than technocrats. There are more than 80% politicians in the cabinet and very few technocrats. We had expected more of technocrats and professionals who can move the economy fast. The cabinet is not balanced. It's more of politicians. Yeah, it's very clear for everyone to see. There are more politicians in the cabinet than technical people.
Our thought as an ordinary citizen is that we feel that since this is the last time he's going to stay, we thought he's going to make use of professionals to better something. But he brought back some of the ministers that does not even perform very well. So our expectation is lower than what we expect.
Meanwhile, key ministers returned to familiar grounds, while Babatunde Fashola lost his power to retain works and housing, and Rotimi Amechi retains Ministry of Transport.
Well, for Amechi to come back, I think he might have performed to some expectation that make the president to reappoint him again. So let's wait and see what will come out of the 4 years again.
Well, I'm not scoring them, but if you look around and see what they have done, maybe he have done 60-65% of what is expected of him.
That decision was taken at the strategic level. But as an ordinary Nigerian, I felt Mr. President has done what is right and what he thinks is good for Nigerians.
The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria on Thursday said its committee had concluded sittings over the allegations of rape by Busola Dakolo, wife of popular artist Timi Dakolo, against the founder of the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly, Pastor Biodun Fatoibo. The PFN National Publicity Secretary Bishop Ima Isang said the committee spoke to the parties involved in the matter. However, he said Fatoibo refused to honor invitations despite efforts by the committee members and leadership of the Christian body. The member representing Dengue Sunni State constituency at the Sokoto State House of Assembly, Aminu Magaji Bodai, has been kidnapped. A close relation of the lawmaker said that he was kidnapped by hoodlums in the early hours of Thursday between Dengue and Bodai town. When contacted, the State Police Command confirmed the abduction. The police public relations officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police Muhammad Sadiq Abubakar, who confirmed that the legislator was kidnapped, said details is still sketchy. Barely 3 weeks after a Catholic priest of Enugu Diocese, Reverend Father Paul Ofu was killed by herdsmen along the Ihe Agbude Road in Agu local government area of Enugu State. A pregnant woman has also been killed by suspected herdsmen in Nchatancha Nike in Enugu East Council area of the state. The woman, whose name was not yet known as of the time of filing this report, was said to have been slain while returning from the farm and her stomach opened to remove her baby. Meanwhile, the state's police command has confirmed the incident, adding that the police was on top of the situation and would send details to our correspondents later in the day. Up next is the business news, and Chinwendu is standing by.
Welcome to TVN Business on Television Nigerian. I am Chiwendu Osisiago. The power sector is going to get another intervention of 600 billion naira from the federal government very soon. President Muhammad Buhari has signed for the release of the funds on Wednesday in Abuja. The Market Operator Transmission Company of Nigeria, Edmo AJ, disclosed this while speaking on the sidelines of the third Mo Interactive Stakeholders Forum. However, the federal government has been intervening in the power sector, and the release of the latest 600 billion naira will make it the third key intervention so far carried out by the government after it officially handed over the distribution and generation arms of the sector to private investors in November 2013. The Senate President Ahmed Lawa, while playing host to the management team of the TCN, argued that it was not in the interest of the government to be disbursing bailout funds to power firms without commensurate improvement in the supply of electricity. Lawan called for a more stringent process that will allow only competent and qualified firms to execute power projects. The federal government's 145 billion naira August bonds was offered on Wednesday were undescribed by 49.91 billion naira. The Debt Management Office showed the breakdown of the auction bonds include a 40 billion naira 5-year reopening bond that will mature in April 2023 and be offered at 12.75%, 50 billion naira 10-year reopening bond that would mature in April 2019 and be auctioned at 14.55%, and 55 billion naira 30-year bond expected to mature in April 2049 and be auctioned at 14.8%. Total subscription received from investors for the bond was 92.09 billion naira, comprising 10.41 billion naira for 12.75%, FGN April 2023 bond 37.47 billion naira for 14.55%, FGN April 2029 bond and 47.21 billion naira for 14.80%, FGN April 2049 bond. The DMO stated that at the August 2019 FGN bond auction held on Wednesday, August 21, 2019, the Debt Management Office issued 59.35 billion naira FGN bond for the 3 tenures offered to various investors who subscribed at the auction. The nation's stock market on Wednesday saw its biggest daily gain in over 2 months as investors gained 120.7 billion naira at the end of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The market capitalization of equities listed on the NSE increased from 13.186 trillion naira in the previous day to 13.307 billion naira. The all-share index advanced by 109 basic points to 27,352.94 PPS, following major price appreciation in MTN Nigerian Communications PLC, Nelson Nigerian PLC, and EcoBank Transnational Incorporated. However, activity level increased as volume and value traded advanced by 73.6% and 39.5% respectively to 363.973 million units and 4.516 billion naira. The most active stock by volume were United Bank for Africa PLC 64.7 million units, Access Bank PLC 58.1 million units, and Guarantee Trust Bank PLC 44 million units. All GTB 1.2 billion naira, Zenith Bank PLC 408.1 million naira, and MTN 475.7 million naira led by value. The top performing stock were Honeywell Floor Mill PLC, EcoBank, AXA Mazad, Union Diagnostic and Clinical Services PLC, and Jay's Bank PLC as their share price appreciated by 9.68% and 9.60% and 9.41%, 9.09% and 8.82% respectively. But that's much we have for you today on TVN Business Updates. I am Chiwendu Osisiago.
Thanks for staying tuned, and if you're just joining us, this is still the news on the hour. Moving on to the foreign scene, migrant families who cross the southern border of the U.S. illegally could be detained indefinitely under a new regulation announced by the Trump administration. It replaces an agreement that set a limit on how long the government could hold migrant children in custody. The move, announced by Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kelvin Malinan, is due to come into effect in 60 days. Mexico has expressed concern and said it would consider legal action on the issue. The Mexican Foreign Ministry said the detention of children and adolescents could be prolonged indefinitely given the continuing delay in attending to migrant cases. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Thursday tried to convince France to reopen Brexit negotiations less than a day after President Emmanuel Macron bluntly ruled out any further talks on the divorce deal. In his first foreign trip since winning a month ago, Johnson is warning German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron that they will face a potentially disorderly no-deal Brexit on October 31st until the European Union does a new deal. At talks in Berlin on Wednesday, Merkel hinted at a possible path-off of the Brexit impasse, but telling Johnson to come up with some alternatives to the Irish border issuance policy within 30 days. South Korea said on Thursday it will scrap an intelligence sharing pact with Japan, a decision that could further escalate a dispute over history and trade and undercut security cooperation on North Korea. With the decision not to extend the pact, the political and trade disputes between South Korea and Japan now extend into some of the most sensitive national security issues in the region. The arrangement was designed to share sensitive information on the threat posed by North Korea's missile and nuclear activities, and the decision to end it comes after North Korea launched a series of short-range ballistic missiles in protest against what it sees as military build-ups in South Korea and Japan. The General Security of Military Information Agreement was due to be automatically renewed on Saturday unless either side decided to cancel it. The decision was announced after an hour-long discussion within the Presidential National Security Council. Britain's Foreign Office continues to urgently seek further information about an employee of its Hong Kong consulate who was detained in China. It said officials have not been able to speak to the consulate worker Simon Chang since his detention in the Chinese border city of Shenzhen. Chang had been expected to return to work on August 9th after visiting the city neighboring Hong Kong. The foreign officer said it will continue to raise the case with officials in Hong Kong, London, and China. And that's all we have for you on the news this hour. Thanks for watching. I am Priscilla Iwer. Have a good night's rest.